All right, so let's go over how to do wrist cars. Wrist cars are pretty straightforward. Just make sure you don't turn them into floppy circles. What we're gonna try and do when we do these is you wanna make sure that all the motion comes from your wrist, not from your finger joints, not from your elbow or any other neighboring joints. So for that, a lot of people will take their other hand and they'll grab their forearm to make sure that their forearm doesn't flip or rotate as they do their wrist car. I'm okay with that. Just make sure that you're using it for feedback and you don't end up white knuckling yourself, or giving yourself a snake bite, or just squeezing the crap out of that forearm to try and not let it move. Your hand is really there more or less just to monitor and make sure that as soon as you do start to cheat, you sense it with the other hand and correct it versus trying to physically block yourself from getting any further or from rotating. So again, feel free to use that hand to monitor if you want. Your veins on your wrist here should be facing up the whole time if we're doing it in elbow supination, which is how I am right now. So if we just go palm facing up, you want to make sure you can keep an eye on those veins on your wrist. And let's go fingers straight here. What you're going to do is see how far you can pull yourself down into wrist extension. And then you're going to bring your pinkies inwards towards midline. You're going to come up into wrist flexion. And then you're going to try and drop yourself over to the outside. So I'm going to try and take my middle finger here, bring it as far as I can to the other side, and then curl back down into wrist extension. As I go through this, again, I'm trying to make sure that this bone or these bones don't move at all, that they stay still the whole time, such that the only thing moving is my wrist. And I want to make sure that as I come up, for example, I don't start to see my fingers folding in like this, and seeing myself getting motion from this joint rather than this joint where I want it. I'm going to try and keep those fingers straight and just carve out the biggest circle that I can, and we'll do it in both directions. So you would then go back and you would do it the other way as well. So don't just do circles in one direction, make sure you go through the other direction as well. The other thing to keep in mind when you're doing wrist cars is, again, wrist and ankle, for whatever reason, people seem to struggle with the most, and that they end up just doing it really passively and just kind of moving their wrists around like this. That doesn't give you the same benefit as doing cars does. So they're not just floppy circles. I want you to really make it active. So really focus on trying to squeeze and connect with the tissue that pulls you in each and every direction. So as I start to come up, I'm really going to squeeze this tissue on top and pull myself into that range as far as I can, really squeezing in that tissue. As I come to the inside, I'm starting to kind of squeeze the tissue that's more on the inside of my forearm. As I come to the bottom, I'm really squeezing this tissue on the underside of that forearm to carve out the biggest circle that I can. Keeping in mind that it has to be pain-free. If you run into pain at any point, your circle may not be a full circle anymore. It may be kind of a cookie cutter shape where you detour around those painful ranges of motion, because going through them will not serve you. It will make your problems worse over time. Now you can do the same thing with a closed fist as well. So you can go open fist, you can go closed fist. You can do it palm facing up or an elbow supination. You can also do it neutral. You can also do it in pronation. I've got another video where I show you a bunch of different strategies that you can use. That video should be available very soon, and when it is, I'll make sure to link to it in this video, in the description, and in the top corner of the video. So that's it for wrist cars. If these were prescribed to you by me, make sure that you check your sheet to see how many reps, how many sets you're doing, how frequently you're doing them, whether we're doing closed fist, open fist, and what position we're in for the elbow. You can also be doing it in elbow extension versus elbow flexion. Again, all of that will be written into your sheet for you.
Whenever you watch one of my videos, make sure to check the description below the video, because I'll always drop links to related videos, links to exercises that would go well with the one that you just finished watching, links to free mobility classes, ebooks, and to my ever-growing library of full-length training videos. Additionally, if you found this specific video helpful, please let me know by hitting the like button below, and that'll send me the message that you want to see more videos like this one. You can also subscribe to be notified when new videos like this one are available. And if there's something specific that you want to see a video on, just let me know in the comments below and we'll try and make that happen. Otherwise, take care and we'll see you in the next one.